Now, in this lecture, we'll understand how you can change the layout of the single blog post. So you can notice here, when you click on the blog post, it will something look like this. But what I want to display the all content on this single blog post page. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just back to my editor, and here I'm going to create a new file called single.php. So in the root directory, I'm going to just create a new file, single.php. And in this file, I'm going to just copy this index file and paste it inside this single.php right here. And instead of specifying this the excerpt, I'm going to just specify here the content and get rid of this the excerpt. So to print all the content, I'm going to use the content template tag. Save all the changes, reload the browser. You can notice we have all the content here, right? And when you back to your home page, you will get the index layout. And when you click on this blog post, you can notice you have different layout here. If you want, you can get rid of the sidebar from the single.php file. But I'm not going to do it. Now let me just add post in the dashboard. So I'm going to open the dashboard. In the post, I want to add a new post. So I'm going to click on this add new. So I'm going to just name it post 3. And the content, I'm going to copy content from the Lorem website and put it inside this paragraph like this. I'm going to just specify category to it. So I'm going to just specify here category using this document option. We have these categories, and right here I'm going to create a new category and name it category 1. I'm going to create a new category and specify that to this post 3. And just after that, I'm going to publish this post. So I'm going to click on this publish button. I'm going to click on this publish again, right? Now let me just add one more post here. So I'm going to just head over to this new post, and I'm going to just name this post title post 4. And the content is going to be the lorem text like this. And I'm going to create a category with, and I'm going to specify category 1 and books. Just after that, I'm going to publish this post. So I'm going to click on this publish button and publish this post. Now if you just reload your browser, you can notice you have 4 posts here. If you just back to your home page, you can notice you have 4 posts here. And using the excerpt, we just specify only few words of this post. Now if you just click on this post 3, I'm going to have all the content of this post. Right? As simple as that. Now, we're going to understand how you can specify different layout to the category archive. Now you can notice here, we have different categories to this different post. Now what if I just click on this category 1. When I click on it, you can notice we have 2 categories here. Because you can notice the post 4 has category 1 and post 3 has category 1. If you click on these books, this will filter the category of books. And you will get 2 categories here. Now let me just back to the home page and click on this uncategorize. When I click on it, you can notice we have only one category here. Because in my database, I only have this hello world in this uncategorized category. So I'm going to just back to my home page, and when I click on this category 1, you can notice I have 2 categories here. Now what if you want to change the layout of this page? In that case, you can use category template file. So just back to your editor, and in the root directory, just create a new file and name that file categories.php. And inside this file, you can specify your own layout to these categories. So what if I just copy all the text from this index file like this and paste it in the categories right here. And I'm going to just get rid of the sidebar from the categories and get rid of this excerpt and just specify here the content. And when I reload my browser, you can notice I have different layout to the categories. Now this is how you can change the layout of your categories. Now there are many files in WordPress which you can use to change the layout of your WordPress theme. Once you know that how to create a different layout to the categories, let me just show you how you can change this title and enable user to specify their own logo instead specifying this title. Let me show you how you can change this blog title and enable user to specify site logo. So I'm going to just make this theme enable to specify site logo. So I'm going to just back to my editor and open the functions.php file. And inside it, you can notice we have theme setup function. So inside this theme setup function, I'm going to add one more function called add theme support. So I'm going to call this function, and in the parameter, I'm going to call custom logo. Now before I add this sentence, let me show you the default setting. Save all the changes, open your dashboard and open the customize setting. So I'm going to click on this customize, and you can notice here in the site identity, you don't have the site logo option here. But when you enable this custom logo like this, you can notice in the site identity, you have this select logo option. Using this select logo option, you can specify logo to your site title. As simple as that. So this is how you can add different settings to your WordPress theme. Now you know that how you can add a custom logo in your website using just a simple add theme support function. Now let me show you how you can add a navigation menu in your website, so you can add your navigation menu dynamically by dragging and dropping links from the dashboard. So let me show you how you can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first back to my dashboard. So let me just back to my dashboard, and now you can see here, if we just head over to this appearance, you can notice we don't have this menu option here. So how do we create a menu if we don't have the menu option here? Don't worry, I will show you how you can add a menu to this WordPress theme. So to create a navigation menu, you just need to first register the navigation menu in your WordPress theme. Now the navigation menu are customizable menu in your theme. Navigation menu allow user to add pages, posts, categories and URL to the menu. To create a navigation menu, you will first need to register it and then display the navigation menu in the appropriate location in your theme. So why don't we just first register the navigation menu? Now let me open the editor, and right here in the functions.php file at the bottom, so I'm going to just create here a command and say register navigation menu, and I'm going to create a function here and name that function register my menu. You can specify any name to this function, and I'm going to call here a function called register now menus. So to register your navigation menu, you need to call a function in WordPress which is register now menus. In this function, you need to specify an array parameter. So I'm going to call here an array, and in this array, I'm going to register my navigation menu. So I'm going to first specify here the name of my navigation menu, which is header menu, and I'm going to just specify title to it. And to specify title to this header menu, I'm going to call double underscore, and in the parentheses, in the single quote, I'm going to specify a name to it. So I'm going to say header menu. Now you're not limited to specify only this name, you can specify any name to this header menu. Now just out of that, I also want to register this navigation menu to the different location. Now as I said, you're not limited to create only one navigation menu in the WordPress theme. Now if you want to create your navigation menu in the footer, you can do that as well. So let me show you how you can do that. So I'm going to just create here footer menu, and I'm going to just specify title to it, footer menu. And just out of that, just out of this function, I'm going to call add action. And in this add action, I'm going to call init hook and specify my function in the second parameter. And to the second parameter, I'm going to specify my function name. So in the single quote, I'm going to say register my menu. Don't forget to specify semicolon here. Save all the changes and reload the browser. When you reload your dashboard, you can notice here, when you hover over this appearance, you can notice we have menus option here. So now you can create your own menu from this option. Let me just click on it and open my menus. Now as you can see, we have the default primary menu here. Now if you want, you can create your own menu as well by just deleting this default menu. by clicking on this delete menu option. But I'm going to leave it as it is, and let me show you how we can specify different location to this menu. At this point, we have two options to this menu. So you can notice here we have display location, and we can display this navigation menu in the header and the footer. Now what we want, we need to just display this primary menu in the header. So I'm going to select this header menu checkbox. But before we check it, we need to create a display location for this navigation menu. So I'm going to just back to my editor, and in the header section, I'm going to just open the header.php file. Before this header, right here, I'm going to just call nav tag, and inside it, I'm going to call a PHP syntax. Inside this PHP syntax, I'm going to call if has nav menu. I'm going to check if we have nav menu. Then in the single quote, I'm going to specify the location of this navigation menu. So I want to display here the header navigation menu. We specify header menu name to this header. I'm going to just use this header menu in the header section of my website. So I'm going to open my header, and in the single quote, I'm going to say header menu. And in this if statement, I'm going to call WP now menu template tag. So using this template tag, you can register your location of navigation menu. So I'm going to just specify here an array, and I'm going to specify here in the single quote theme location, and I'm going to specify value to it, to this theme location. So I'm going to say here header menu. So I want to display the header menu at this location. So I'm going to specify here header menu. Now if you want, you can repeat the same process to the footer as well. I'm going to just copy this PHP tag, save all the changes, and inside this footer, I want to display this footer navigation menu up here. So I'm going to paste the PHP tag right here and change this header to footer. And I'm going to change this to footer. So in the footer, I want to display this footer navigation menu. So I'm going to save all the changes and back to my, oops, I think I forgot here semicolon. Save all the changes and save the changes in the header.php file as well. And now just back to your dashboard. When you back to your dashboard, you can notice here we have two locations to this header menu and the footer menu. So we know that we registered this header menu in the header area of the website, and we registered this footer menu in the footer area of the website. So let me just display this sample and this books navigation menu, this primary menu in the header. So I'm going to select this header menu option and save all the changes. When I save the changes, you can notice we have primary menu has been updated message here. Now just back to your website and just reload it. Now you can notice we have the navigation menu here. Now if you want, you can specify style to it using style.css file. I'm not going to waste your time by styling this navigation menu, because you will learn that later in this course. So I'm going to just back to my dashboard, and I just want to change this location, and I'm going to change it to footer. Save all the changes, and when I reload my website, you can notice I have this navigation menu down here before this footer tag. As simple as that. If you want, you can create a new navigation menu as well by clicking on this create new menu. Now just out of that, you can notice here we have manage locations. So at this point, you can notice we have footer menu, primary menu. At the footer, I just selected the primary menu. You can also select the primary menu to the header as well. So if I just select this primary menu to the header and save all the changes, you can notice I have this navigation menu to the header and the footer. That's upon you where you want to display this navigation menu. So if you want to display this navigation menu in the sidebar, you can do that as well. That's upon you where you want to display this navigation menu. Now we're going to understand how you can make your sidebar dynamic, and we're also going to see how you can add different widgets in the sidebar. Now in the previous lectures, we understand how you can work with the widgets. Widgets are add content and features to your sidebar. Now most of the themes are widgets ready, meaning that you can insert widgets into them easily. Widgets allow you to add functionality to your sidebar without having to use code. Some common widgets functionality include displaying recent post, displaying recent comment, adding a search box for searching content on the site, and adding static text. Widgets area provide a way for a user to customize their site. A widgets area can appear on multiple pages or on only one page. Now, if you just take a look at your dashboard, you can notice in the appearance we don't have widgets here. To create a widgets, you need to register the widgets in the WordPress theme. Let me show you how you can register the widgets. Now, to make your theme ready for the widgets, you need to first register the widgets in the functions.php file. So let me show you how you can register the widgets and add them in the sidebar. So just back to your editor, and in the functions.php file, I'm going to first create a new function. So I'm going to first create here a command, register widgets, or you can call it register. Now just out of that, I'm going to create here a function, and I'm going to name this function my register widgets. And in this function, I'm going to call a PHP function called register sidebar. So using this function, you can register the widgets in your WordPress theme. So in this PHP function, I'm going to specify parameter. So I'm going to specify here an array, and using this array, we're going to specify different parameter to this function. So using this function, we can add dynamic content to the sidebar. So in this array, I'm going to first specify ID to this sidebar. So in the single quote, I'm going to say ID and specify value to it. So I'm going to say here new sidebar. Now make sure the name of this ID is unique. Just out of that, I'm going to specify name to it, and I'm going to specify value sidebar. Now if you want, you can specify description as well to the sidebar. So using the description parameter, you can specify description for this sidebar. Right here, you can say, I'm going to say here a short description of the sidebar. And just out of that, don't forget to specify here semicolon and just register this function using add action hook. So I'm going to just call add action hook here, add action, and in the single quote, I'm going to simply call WordPress hook, which is widgets in it. And in the second parameter, I'm going to specify the name of my function. So I'm going to say my register widgets. Specify semicolon here, save all the changes. When you back to your dashboard, you can notice when you reload it, oops, I think I specified semicolon here. I need to specify semicolon right here. Save all the changes, reload the dashboard. Now you can notice we have the widgets area here. When you click on it, this will open the widget screen. Now as you can see, we have the new sidebar title here. You can notice we specify this new sidebar title to these widgets, and you're also going to see a short description of this sidebar, which is the description of this widgets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add here categories. So I'm going to grab these categories and drop this in this new sidebar, and I'm going to just say here categories. Save the changes and just click on this done. Now when you reload your website, at this point you're not going to get anything here, because as I said, when you register your sidebar, you need to specify where you want to display that dynamic sidebar. Now at this point we have this static sidebar, so we need to convert this static sidebar to dynamic sidebar. So I'm going to just back to my editor and open the index.php file, and in this file you can notice we have get sidebar template tag. I'm going to just get rid of this template tag and call here dynamic sidebar. So I'm going to call a new template tag called dynamic sidebar, and keep in mind in the parenthesis of this sidebar you need to specify an ID in the single quote. So in the function we specify new sidebar ID to this sidebar. So I'm going to specify this ID in the first parameter like this. Specify semicolon here, save all the changes, back to the website and reload it. When you reload your website, you can notice we have the dynamic sidebar here. If you want, you can add more widgets in the sidebar. Let me show you. Now if you want to add here pages, just grab it and drop that inside this sidebar. Specify title to it, pages, and just save all the changes. Now if you reload your website, you can notice you have here pages. Now if you want, you can style this section easily. Now what if you want to change the location of the sidebar? Just back to your function.php file, just copy this function and paste it down here, and just change this ID to footer sidebar. I'm going to change this text as well, and I'm going to say here footer sidebar. I'm going to leave the description as it is and save all the changes. And just after that, I'm going to just grab this sentence and just open the footer.php file. And in the footer file, right here just out of this footer, I'm going to just paste that content and change this ID to footer sidebar. I'm going to specify ID, this one, to this footer sidebar. I'm going to save all the changes back to my dashboard and just reload it. You can notice I have the footer location here. So in this footer location, I can add my different widgets. So if I just grab this recent comment and put this inside this footer sidebar, I'm going to specify title to it, recent comment, save the changes, and just click on this done. Back to your website, reload it. You can notice you have the sidebar here. Now because we specify the sidebar just out of this footer, you're going to get the sidebar just out of this footer right here. Now we know that how you can register the widgets in the WordPress theme and how you can create a dynamic sidebar and specify different location to it. Now let me show you how you can create a pagination in the WordPress. Now the most common use for pagination in WordPress site is to break up long list of posts into separate pages. So what if you have 100 posts in the WordPress? In that case, you need to break that post in the different pages. Whether you are viewing a category archive or default index page for a blog post or site, WordPress only shows 10 posts per page by default. So if you just back to your dashboard and when you hover over this setting, from the reading option you can notice we have blog pages show at most 10. So the WordPress only shows 10 posts per page by default. If you want, you can change this setting as well. So I'm going to just change this setting and decrease this post and specify here 3. Save all the changes and just reload your WordPress site. Now you can see we have 3 posts here. But where is my 4th post? In that case, the pagination is very useful. Now let me show you how you can create a pagination in the WordPress. Now let me just back to my editor, and in this file, I'm going to create a pagination just out of this sidebar, just before this footer, right here. So I'm going to create here a division tag and specify class pagination. I'm going to create a pagination for my blog post. So the WordPress has numerous functions for displaying links to the other pages. So I'm going to just simply call here a PHP syntax and call here post now link. I'm going to call here a simple template tag post now link. When I save all the changes, you can notice we have the next page option here. So by clicking on this next page, we will redirect to the next post, right? So you can see we have the next post here. And when you click on this previous page, you will get your previous page post here. So if you want to add this next page and previous page to your WordPress theme as a pagination, you can use this post now link template tag. Now just out of that, let me show you another way to add pagination in your website. So I'm going to get rid of this template tag and just call here next post link. I'm going to call a simple template tag next post link, and just out of that I'm going to call a PHP syntax again and call previous post link. Save all the changes. You can notice we have the same result here. I'm going to get the next page option to move to the next page, and we have the previous page option to back to the previous page. Let me show you how you can add the numeric pagination in the WordPress. So if I just back to my editor, and I'm going to just get rid of this both template tag, and I'm going to add here a numeric pagination. Now when you have many pages of content, it is a better experience to display a list of pages numbers, so user can click on any one of the pages links rather than having to repeatedly click next or previous post. So WordPress provides several functions for automatically displaying a numeric pagination list. So if you just add here a simple PHP syntax and say the post pagination and just save all the changes, you can notice you have here a different pages. you also have a text here, post navigation, and you can navigate to your next page by clicking on this 2. Or you can just click on this next or this previous link like this. By clicking on this number, you can navigate to your different post. If you want, you can style this pagination as well. That's upon you. Now we know that how to create a basic WordPress theme. Let's move on and understand how to create a full feature premium theme in WordPress. Now if you are a regular student, then you're not a beginner in the WordPress right now, because you have more than the basic information of the WordPress. Till now, we learned the basic features of WordPress. So I hope you're completely familiar with the WordPress dashboard and the basic theme development. So from the next session, we'll start creating a WordPress premium theme. So we'll first create a simple HTML and CSS template using HTML and CSS and then convert it into WordPress theme. Most of the beginners understand HTML and CSS well. So we will first create this website in the HTML and then convert it into WordPress theme. So in the next session, we'll start building this premium theme of WordPress. So I will see you in the next one.